Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this week we have Space Cruiser, a Taito arcade classic. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. From legendary developer Taito, Space Cruiser released to arcades in 1981. Now this feels like another obscure arcade classic, as I'm not very familiar with this one. From the era, you would be most familiar with Taito for their Space Invader series, the first of which came out in 1978. This title definitely has that kind of vibe, that kind of feel to it, but it also has gameplay that reminds me a lot of Galaga as well. So this is one that I would recommend to fans of those classic arcade titles. If that's not really your jam, then check out the video and see if it's something you'd be interested in. I personally have had a lot of fun with this one, so I would recommend it, but once again, that's the caveat. You'd have to enjoy those arcade titles. Alright, that said, putting credits into the machine, we're taken to this wonderful screen here. Space Cruiser, forward. Earth's future is on your shoulders. Blast off for a new adventure. So the game can be played two-player, but it's not two-player simultaneous, it's two-player alternating, just something to note. Once you start the game, we're treated to this wonderful launch sequence that even has some digitized voice. Very impressive for the era, in my opinion. Warp! So I just love how you just have these little phrases and just words tossed out on the screen there. Like, UFOs found! Attack and destroy! Yeah, some of the punctuation's a little bit off, but that's alright. So the game itself is very much similar to your fixed shooters of the time, where we can just move left and right on the screen, and we have the ability to fire. Not much else is going on. If we die, like there, we don't have to restart the entire wave, rather we're placed where the wave happened to be at. So this first wave, we're tasked with destroying that UFO, and he's got these swarms of minions that we need to take out. So the green ones are gone, we have these silver ones, and the battle against the UFO continues. One nice thing about our shots is it is possible to shoot down the enemy shots, save for that like swirly-whirly red shot that the UFO fires our way. So this was one where I'm kind of torn on turning on the rapid fire that Hamster provides for us in the control save. Wow, that one's being really tough to get behind. Just because you can only have 2 shots on screen at any given time. Sometimes it would be better to pick your shots rather than just use rapid fire. So once we finish the first stage, we move on to the second stage. Danger! Asteroids! So one thing that is nice here is we can shoot down the asteroids directly in front of us. That's very helpful for staying alive, but there's also an interesting mechanic that makes things a little bit difficult. As you'll note, as the stage goes on, the ship is moving up the screen, giving you a little less time to respond to the asteroids in front of you. And then we'll come to a section later in the asteroid stage, the slip zone. Well, when you die, you are getting points for both like the time you're alive and for the asteroid you shoot down. So that is quite nice. But we have to finish the stage to move on. It almost feels like a bonus stage, but it's not. And then we end up in this like slip zone attention where things get all kinds of like crazy, and it kind of feels like the controls get a little bit weird as well. Although I'm not 100% certain if that's just my imagination or if it really is happening. It's just kind of weird. Alright, we're gonna go and get past this slip zone. So one thing that actually surprised me is that the game does allow you to continue. So if you get a game over, you can continue where you're at. The thing to note is you just have to press the right button. It's not the usual credits like start button, but rather it's like on the standard Switch layout, it's the A button. So we're using the B button to fire and the A button to continue. This is the only purpose the A button serves. It's kind of interesting. So with that stage finished now, we move on to my favorite section, the space station. So this is just a neat little section here where we have to dock with this space station. But there are some alien UFOs blocking our way first. So we have to take out those UFOs before we can dock. Once that's completed, we have to successfully dock with the yellow blinking part of the UFO. Easier said than done, but bam! That's satisfying to get that on the first try. Docking complete. So here we actually get an upgrade, which is something that, once again, is kind of surprising for the time. So we now have a double shot in addition to a single shot, so we'll fire double, single, double, single, allowing us to better destroy the aliens. Now, but at the same time, the game's not going to let us off that easy. It increases the difficulty quite a bit here, giving us something that feels very Galaga-esque in my mind, with the way that these aliens come like diving down our way. So that is basically Space Cruiser served up for your enjoyment. It's definitely surprising that this one hasn't gotten more attention, as I kind of feel that the variety of gameplay that they put into the game, especially for the era, was really impressive. And not just that, but, well, like even compared to like modern gameplay, it's just fun. And I do enjoy the visuals that are presented here. And also, well, let's talk a little bit about the minus flavor. So one thing I do feel that is a problem with the game is it's too short. We're now to the final stage of your loop, so once we finish the stage, we complete loop 1, and we'll move on to our next gameplay loop. In this one, we just have to defeat the number of UFOs, and then the base defending the planet, and then, well, then it's on to our next part of the mission. But as far as the plus flavors are concerned, so I just really do enjoy that there is a fair bit of variety to the gameplay for this era. It's like I said, it's just impressive and not really what you'd expect. It'd be kind of like a whole bunch of just the same over and over again, so it's nice to have something different. And then I also just like that classic arcade feel that it has. So this isn't going to be one for everybody, but at least for me, it's one that I've quite enjoyed my time with. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.